Good morning. Welcome to Forex in Four. Today is Monday, October 10th, 2011. All right, we're starting out the morning. We're going to take a quick peek here at the euro. You can see that we're trading higher this morning. We've got just up to 136 and then a slight little pullback. I'm not certain that this move is over here yet. And basically the big news of the weekend has come out that apparently Sarkozy and Merkel over in Europe, they had a rendezvous, if you will, this weekend, a meeting between the two of them, where they basically come out and they said, okay, we've got a plan for the whole thing, and it's all going to be done by the end of the month, which essentially it's a plan about the plan. All right, there were no details released about how this is going to happen, but they're talking about recapitalizing European banks. And you know, that's first of all, the market sees this as a good thing because we're starting to get some certainty here, and you can see euro pushing higher. But here's the question: is that okay? Now that they've got this plan, what are they going to do? What's it going to come out with? And how's this whole thing going to go down? They've essentially put, set the clock ticking for themselves, all right? And they've bought themselves till the end of the month, which is essentially just another 2 weeks to get this thing done. So what's the deal going to be? All right, so maybe they're going to go out and recapitalize a lot of these European banks so that now there's more liquidity in the system, that there's more money out there. But does that mean that that they're going to cause a bigger haircut for the Greek bonds? And that's going to be an issue because they're going to have to be some sort of restructuring. All right, the deal that they came up with on July 21st, all right, that still hasn't even been ratified yet by everybody, and I think it's supposed to happen by the end of this week. I think it's like Slovakia and a couple other places that need to ratify these things. But now they're saying that, since that time, that amount's, largely insufficient, which is why now they're talking about recapitalizing European banks. So depending upon what happens, there could be an increase in the haircut, meaning bigger private sector losses for those who hold Greek debt, and that could have a negative impact on the euro as well. All right, so we're going to have to see what happens there, but for now, they've bought themselves a little bit of time. So this week's kind of a goofy week for news coming out from around the globe. There's not a ton of stuff happening that's of, I guess I don't want to say of significant importance, but it's not this, earth-shattering news that we could see something that's going to really turn things around. But just to let you know, earlier this morning, all right, we had German current account balance came in, and it came in better than expected. So they've got a much higher account balance or surplus than they do deficit. All right, and this was led on their exports, okay, which are up 3.5% versus 1.1%. So we had industrial production and manufacturing production in France. Those also came in higher than expected. Same in Italy. All right, so you can see that with the lower value of the euro that we've been seeing because of all of this risk in the marketplace, that's really been helping out the economy there. So interesting story. So that's the euro. You can see that we've got risk taking going on across the board. I'll just show you S&P 500, which is a good proxy for risk. Okay, you can see we're back up towards 11.75 here. We'll take a look at oil. Oil's jumped back up. Got a big move up to just under 84.5 right here. All right, and that's been going up. Let's back it out a little bit to the 1 hour so you can see this movement. All right, so boom, we had a bounce, from last week, and you can see oil traded higher. All right, Aussie dollar also higher. Looking at it on the weekly. All right, all these charts look the same. We're now taking on risk again. All right, you can see the New Zealand dollar as well. It should look similar. Okay, so what are we going to see this week that's of some major importance? Well, there's a lot of stuff coming out in the UK this week, and that's going to be interesting to say the least, because we know about the increase in quantitative easing that the Bank of England just pulled last week, and you can see that was this number right here, which was the initial sell-off, pulled pound dollar down to just below 153, and then we got a quick bounce off of there as risk-taking came back into the marketplace. So the question is the data deteriorating that much in the UK that perhaps this is warranted, or is it the kind of thing where risk-taking is going to take over and continue to push this higher? So we're going to see some home sales figures in the UK tomorrow. We're going to get, manufacturing and industrial production figures on Tuesday. We're going to get their GDP estimate also on Tuesday. Wednesday is going to be the jobless claims. All right, they're expecting jobless claims to go up by 24,000, so that's negative for unemployment, that's negative for employment. They're expecting the unemployment rate to actually tick up higher to 8% from 7.9%. So the jobs picture doesn't seem so hot in the UK. That could be a game changer there on Wednesday. And then after that, we'll get the trade balance in the UK. and then that should do it for them. So a little bit of decent news coming out for the UK, and we're just going to keep an eye on it. I think what's interesting also to look at is, we can take a peek here at, let's look at pound or euro pound here. And you can see that, boom, euro looks like it's starting to bounce a little bit here versus pound. So this could be a situation where, perhaps this 86 cents was a decent area of a bottom. You can see that it was actually support previously in the month, and then it was actually a little bit of resistance. All right, so maybe 86 cents is a decent place here to pick up some euro versus pound. Just going to flip notes over here and see what's going on in Asia. Okay, dollar yen still in this range, 77 to, God, it's tightened to 76.50 right now. This has essentially been the monthly range, so not a lot of action in there. All right, they've been talking about perhaps yen intervention from the Bank of Japan. We haven't seen anything right now. I think they're comfortable where they are right now, but if it just stays in this range and it gets, sort of keeps going on for an extended period, that's going to really start to harm Japanese exports. Now, they're coming out with their trade balance figures tomorrow in Japan, and then we're going to get the Bank of Japan monthly economic report on Tuesday. So if there's going to be any sort of intervention or talks of it, it's going to be in that report. They're also going to release the minutes of their rate policy meeting. That's going to come out on Wednesday night. All right, and then that's really going to be it for Japan for the week. All right, end of the week, let's go back to the Eurozone. We've got CPI data coming in from the Eurozone. And again, I think, the major issues for the Euro, obviously, is the debt crisis, what's going to happen there. As the week goes on, people are going to start to speculate over how this deal is going to go down. And, some people are going to say positive, some are going to say negative. We'll see some volatility. All right, perhaps, some of these news releases may affect it. But, for example, we've got Eurozone trade balance figures and CPI data due out on Friday. Okay, that could be interesting for Eurozone. But, some of the other stuff, we've got some CPI data coming out, which is of minimal importance. We'll just take a peek here. Go to the Kiwi. Kiwi, there's some news on tap there as well. You can see that it's going to be, let me see, the Kiwi, we're going to get, what was it? There was one important piece of news I wanted to tell you about. Oh, I'm sorry, it wasn't the Kiwi, it was the Aussie. It was the Aussie employment report on Wednesday. That's what we wanted to look at. And you can see here Aussie USD. All right, we're coming back up towards that parity level. And, perhaps we're going to get up there. Let's look at this on the 2-hour chart. Perhaps we get up there, and then maybe that acts as a little bit of resistance if the unemployment report comes in worse than expected. But they're actually expecting to add 10,000 jobs and for the unemployment rate to stay steady at 5.3%. So, this week's going to be one of those, interesting weeks. There's also some news coming out of China, which will affect both Australia and New Zealand because they are closely tied there. But, as this we start to get a little bit of clarity over what's going on in the Eurozone, that's really going to set the stage for the markets. And, it's the situation is that the markets have wanted to sort of, move forward, but there's just been this risk in the way, which has caused, a lot of volatility. It's caused a lot of selling. We've been down for the last couple of months on S&P. And I think, people are getting to a point where, you want to see some buy-in happening here by the end of the year, in this last quarter, and hopefully things are going to improve. So if we get that certainty out of Eurozone, that's going to help these things tremendously. All right, but again, it has to be, they have to come out with something that's a decent plan. You can't just say, all right, well, we're going to have a plan by the end of the month, and all of a sudden everybody says, wow, that plan's horrible. That doesn't make any sense. So, obviously it's going to be important to see what that is. But, here in the U.S., see if there's anything from the U.S. Interesting this week. Retail sales figures on Friday, that'll be important, see how we're doing. And then we're also going to get the meeting minutes from the Fed. Those are going to come out on, I don't know, when's that, Tuesday or Wednesday? Wednesday. They're going to release that on Wednesday, the Fed meeting minutes. Yes. Okay, Wednesday. So we'll just see what the Fed's thinking. But, we know that Bernanke was talking about, or at least on his speech to Joint Economic Chiefs, that he could go back for some more easing if things don't improve. So, we've got that going on, plus, the usual battles in Washington, D.C., Occupy Wall Street rallies taking place, and basically situation normal. So that's what I've got for today, gang. Good trading to all.